Yeah, take the problem, Ramdev. Why Anagha is delayed?
Sir, I'll send her a message. So,
I already sent a message. Yeah, please take three uniform spheres. Three uniform spheres, each of mass m and radius r. Three uniform spheres, each of mass m and radius r, are kept in such a way that each touches the other two. Find the gravitational force on any one sphere. Find the gravitational force on any one sphere due to the other two. So these are the three identical spheres. They are kept in such a way that each one touches the other two. This is A, this is B, this is C. Mass of each sphere is m and radius of each sphere is r. So sphere B will exert gravitational force like this. Sphere C will exert gravitational force. Because both the spheres are identical, the force exerted by each sphere will be F naught each. And because all the three spheres are identical, it should form an ABC should be an equilateral triangle. Therefore, this angle should be 60 degrees. Means you get F1 is equal to F2 is equal to F naught. Angle between these two forces is 60 degrees. So there is a law which we studied long back. That is called parallelogram law of vectors. Implies the resultant force is root of, I gave a table also, F1 square plus F2 square plus 2 F1 F2 cos theta. So this is F naught square plus F naught square plus 2 F naught square into theta is 60, cos 60 is 1 by 2. Therefore, this will come out to be root 3 F naught. And F naught is G M1, M2, both are identical, M square. AB whole square, distance between the centers of the spheres. So it is GM square by AB is nothing but 2R plus R, 2R, so 4R square. Therefore, the resultant force on one sphere exerted by other two will be root 3 by 4 into GM square by R square. Okay, Vamdev?
Yes, sir.
Completed, huh?
Yes, sir. Done, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Uchava?
Yes, sir. Adi, it was taking time, sir, to load.
Okay, okay. అదే అంటే ఏంటి అనగా లేట్ అవుతుందో ఎన్నో ఇవాళ ఓకే 4 particles each of mass 4 particles each of mass m are located at the 4 corners of a square of side A. If the system is revolving if the system is revolving in a circle, due to their mutual gravitational force, then find the orbital velocity of each particle. Find the orbital velocity of each particle and the time period of their revolution. Yeah, this is what he means. So these are the 4 particles at the corners of a square of side A. Each is of m, and each experiences the gravitational force of other 3. So let us consider the particle at A. This is M1. Is equal to M. M2 is equal to M. M3 is equal to M. M4 is equal to M. M2 exerts a force F2. M4 exerts a force F4. They will be along AD, AB and AD respectively. M3 exerts a force F3. You know, AD is equal to A and AB is equal to A. Masses are same, distance is same. So F21 is equal to F41 is equal to GM square by A square, and the angle between them is 90 degrees. Therefore, F24 on M1 will be, because they are 90 degrees, it comes out to be root 2 GM square by A square. Next, diagonal distance of C from A, it is root 2A, and this will be along AO. Parallelogram law states that if any two forces are acting along the adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then the diagonal between them will be giving their resultant. So this F24 will act along AO. Similarly, F3, this is GM square by distance of M3 from M1, root 2A. Diagonal of the square root 2A, so it is 2A square. This is F3. Even F24 also is in the same direction. So the total force will be F24 plus F3, that is GM square by A square if you take common, root 2 plus 1 by 2. And then radius will be equal to AO, that is AC by 2, half of the diagonal. So root 2A by 2 means A by root 2. So the centripetal force is equal to mv0 square by R. So it is mv0 square by A square by 2. This is equal to the resultant force on M1. So GM square by A square into 2 root 2 plus 1 by 2. Small m the what no? Yes. So you cancel 1m here, A square. So finally, what is the formula for V0? V0 will be
Sir, root GM by R plus H.
GM by
R plus H, sir.
H ఎక్కడ ఉంది? MV square by R ఇక్కడ A square లేదు.
Yes,
Sir,
sir.
V0 root.
So you are
Sir,
left
V0
with A here. Means square root of, yeah,
Sir, GM into 2 root 2 plus 1 by 2.
exactly. GM into 2 root 2 plus 1 by 2 a kada, and one more 2 is here, so 1 by 2, correct? ఏ మామూలుగా అంతేనా? ఏ రూట్ 2 వస్తుంది, నాట్ 2, root 2, it should be root 2. Therefore, if you take it into the square root, gm into 2 root 2 plus 1 by 2 root 2a, that's all.
Sir, I think it's 4a, sir.
Exactly. Root లో తీసుకొచ్చాం కదా, it's yes, you're right. 2 into 2 4a, yes. Okay, and omega naught v naught by r, so v naught by a by root 2, correct?
Sir, actually, I did not understand how we got a, sir, by 2a, root gm into 2 root 2 plus 1 by 2a, sir. I did not understand.
See, radius is oa na,
Yes, sir.
this is nothing but half of the diagonal na. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So root 2a by 2 will be how much?
Sir, a by root 2, sir.
Therefore, mv naught square by r is equal to mv naught square by a by root 2.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Understood?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this will be root 2 by a into root of gm into 2 root 2 plus 1 by 4a. Correct?
Yes, sir. Yes.
2 we can take it. So finally omega naught will be sorry, you take it into the square root, so it is gm sorry, 2 root 2 plus 1 by 2a cube.
Sir, a square, sir. No, sir,
Yes.
a cube.
And the time period will be how much? 2 pi by omega naught.
Sir, it will be 2 pi into root 2a cube by gm into 2 root 2 plus 1, sir.
Exactly. So 2 pi into root of 2a cube by gm into 2 root 2 plus 1. So this is the formula. Okay, na?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yeah. It's a good model because it clubbed the centripetal force, superposition principle, orbital velocity. More concepts are clubbed in this problem. Hence, such models are always good.
Done, sir.
Good. The given mass is divided into two parts. The given mass is divided into two parts such that one among them possesses a mass small m. One among them possesses a mass small m. They are placed at certain distance. They are placed at certain distance such that the gravitational force between them will be maximum. Such that the gravitational force between them will be maximum. Find the ratio small m by capital M. Find the ratio small m by capital M. So total mass is capital M. One fragment has got a mass small m. Other fragment will have a mass capital M minus small m. So the gravitational force between them is given by G into small m into capital M minus small m by R square. This G by R square is constant. Now, for any variable to acquire maximum value, its derivative with respect to the variable is here small m, should become 0. This implies d by dm of, anyhow this capital G by R square is not variable. So leftover things, capital M multiplied by small m minus m square into G by R square should be equal to 0. So we use the derivative formula. D by dx of x to the power of n is n into x to the power of n minus 1. So the power of small m here is 1. Therefore, we will get capital M into 1 into m to the power of 1 minus 1 minus 2m to the power of 2 minus 1 should be equal to 0. So anything to the power of 0 is 1. So capital M minus 2m is equal to 0. So m is equal to m by 2. So if if the given body is divided into two equal fragments and are kept at certain distance, then there will be maximum gravitational force between them.
Done, sir.
Done. Good. Take the next problem. A body weighs 64 newtons on the Earth's surface. It is taken to a height of 1/4 of Earth's radius. It is taken to a height of 1/4 of Earth's radius. Find the weight of the body at that place, at that height. You know W is equal to mg. Therefore, W1 by W0 will be G1 by G. I gave this formula. This is R by R plus H whole square. So W1 will be W0 into R by R plus R by 4 whole square. So it is W0 into, yeah, this is 16 by 5R 25. Isn't
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You can put it, say 250 newtons. Therefore, W1 will be 160 newtons.
That's it.
Yeah. Find the depth at which the value of acceleration due to gravity is 25% that of its value on the surface. So given G2 is equal to G by 4. And I gave you the formula G into 1 minus D by R. So 1 minus G2 by G is equal to D by R. So D is equal to R into 1 minus G2 by G. So R into 1 minus 1 by 4. G2 by G is nothing but 1 by 4. So it is 3 by 4R. So 3 by 4 into 6,400. So 1,600. Therefore 4,800 kilometers depth. At this depth, the weight drops to 25%. Okay, na? Completed,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Two identical metal spheres. Two identical metal spheres are placed. Two identical metal spheres are placed with their surfaces just touching each other. Find the relation between the gravitational force between them find the relation between the gravitational force between them and their radius. So let us suppose the centers of the two spheres is they are C1, C2. So the two centers are now separated by a distance r plus r to r. Now m1 is equal to m2 is equal to volume into density. Let us suppose density of each sphere is rho, volume is V. So this is 4 by 3 pi r cube rho. And the distance between the two spheres is 2r. Therefore, the gravitational force between them, G m1 m2 by x square, that is G into 4 by 3 pi rho whole square into r to the power of 6 by 4r square. So from this you can say the gravitational force between these two spheres varies directly as the fourth power of the radius of each sphere. Next. Abhinda?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Find the speed at which the earth should rotate. Find the speed at which the earth should rotate to make all the objects at the earth's equator all the objects at the equator will experience weightlessness. So here is the earth's equator, and these are the poles of the earth. So the earth is spinning, I think from west to east. Earth spins from west to east with an angular velocity omega. So at the equator, the latitude is 0 degrees, and we got G is equal to G minus G into 1 minus R omega square cos square phi by G. This is the formula. So at the equator, we will get G E is equal to G minus R omega E square it should become 0. So for W to become 0, GE should become equal to 0. Therefore, omega E will become root of G by R. So substitute the values. So if the earth can spin at this rate, then the objects at the equator will experience weightlessness. So it is 9.8 by 6.4 into 10 to the power of 6. This is 7 by 8 root 2 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So 7 into 1.4, 9.8 by 8 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So this is 8 ones are 8, 18, 8 twos are 16, 20, 1.225. 1.25 into 10 to the power of minus 3 radians second inverse. What is the actual speed of Earth's rotation? 2 pi by capital T. This is 2 pi by time period of Earth's rotation is 24 hours into 3600, that is 86,400 seconds. So if you compare these two, then omega E becomes 17 times omega naught. So if the earth spins at a speed of 70 times faster than the present speed, then all the objects at the equator will experience weightlessness. So they will be floating on the globe. Suppose for weightlessness, at a latitude of 60 degrees, at this point, here is the latitude. So G phi is, formula is there, G into 1 minus R omega square cos square phi by G, it should become equal to 0. So this will be G minus R omega square cos square phi will be equal to 0. Therefore, omega at that latitude, to make the objects at that latitude to become weightlessness, is 1 by cos phi into root of G by R. You can remember this formula. At the equator for weightlessness, it is root G by R. This is the value. So it will be 17 times more than the present angular velocity of the Earth. At a latitude phi, it should be 1 by cos phi into root of g by r, because cos 60, 1 by 2, so it will be 2.5 into 10 to the power of minus 3 radian centimeters. Okay,
Yes, sir.
it's a
Yes, sir.
important concept. Today I put some tables and some worked out examples in the group.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, you can have the table. All the formulae for moments of energy of various bodies are given in that. So you can have a look into them. Try to save it. Okay.
Yes, sir.
A particle is fired vertically upwards. A particle is fired vertically upwards. From the Earth's surface. From the Earth's surface. It reaches to a height of equals to 6,400 kilometers. It reaches to a height equals to 6,400 kilometers. Find the velocity with which it should be projected. So here is the Earth's surface. Here is the Earth's center of mass m, radius r. And here is a body of mass m. So it should be given a velocity v. So the total initial energy is the sum of potential and kinetic energies. That is minus g capital M small m by r plus half mv square. And so from A, it goes up to B at a height h, where its velocity becomes 0. Therefore, the final energy is minus g capital M small m by r plus h. Yesterday, I gave you the formula for potential and kinetic energies. So assuming that energy is conserved, E is equal to EI is equal to EF. So minus G capital M small m by R is equal to plus half mv square is minus G capital M small m by R plus H. That is half mv square. To take it to other side, G capital M small m by R minus G capital M small m by R plus H. So, in place of GM, you can substitute GR square. Elaga? Small g is equal to GM by R square. Kada? ఈ ఫార్మాట్ లో కూడా ఉంచొచ్చు, but I am transforming it into the form of small g. So here it is. Yeah, in place of GM, I am putting it as G into R square into small m by R minus G into R square into M by R plus H. So if you simplify, we will be getting a formula. Half mv square will be equal to mgh by 1 plus h by r. And if you want velocity, if you are asked kinetic energy, this is the formula. And if you want velocity, yes, it is root of 2gh by 1 plus h by r. So you can remember this formula, standard concept. So v is equal to root of 2gr by 1 plus 1 2 root gr. Root gr is nothing but equivalent to orbital velocity, that is 8 kilometers second inverse. That's all. Okay, na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Answer.
Okay. So with this, today's class will conclude. Yeah, tell me one.